Hi guys, so I am doing story time number 2. It's a touching subject. I'm gonna try not to get upset. So if you guys want to grab a drink or some snacks, come sit down and we'll have a chat. Today I'm going to talk about secondary infertility. So secondary infertility is when you find it really difficult to conceive a child after you've already had a first child. From my last video and my vlogs, if you watch them, you know that I've already got a little girl. She's now 4. So we obviously want to give her a sibling, and we've been trying. But of course, for me, we've had no success. You know, it's really frustrating. It's very stressful mentally and emotionally. I can only describe it as a very, very difficult time for me. I mean, I know that with David, every month when I tell him my period is here, it just breaks his heart because he knows how it affects me. I know that, you know, I should kind of just let these things be, and if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But when you've been trying for 3 years, it's very draining. After Bella was born, the midwife was like, look, you're very, very fertile right now, and you should go onto some form of contraception. And after giving birth to Bella, I was like, that's fine, you know, I don't want a baby right now. I need my body to kind of rest. So the last option for me was the injection. And I thought, okay, you get injected every 3 months in your bottom. And I thought, do you know what? Yeah, why not? The only thing is, no one, I mean, I could have done research myself, but I would have thought that the nurse who offered this option to me would have given me all the information that I needed, but she didn't. So she never told me the effects, as in, you know, if I did want to come off of it, how it would affect me, or the time frame that it could affect my body. Anyway, Bella was coming up to a year old, and I had found out that the injection could take up to about 2 years for it to come out of my body, and I was just freaking out, and I just thought, no, get me off of this right now. So it was about June time where I decided to come off of it, and then literally the month after, my period bled, and I was kind of like, okay, maybe my body, I don't know, it just went back to normal type thing. But I was like, okay, let's not get my hopes up, it's just the first month after I've come off of it. And then literally August came, September, October, November, period, same. So I was like, oh great, my body's back to normal. We can kind of like try now. So, you know, we tried every month, nothing. So I thought, okay, look, it can take up until about 2 years for my body to get back to normal. So I gave it the 2 years and there was still nothing, but I was still getting a regular period. Everything seemed fine. So I just thought, okay, you know, the stuff's probably in my system, it could take a lot longer. So I went back to the nurse and I just said, you know, can she shed some light onto what's happening? So she explained to me that, you know, it still could be in my body, just give it a bit more time. Gave it a couple more months and stuff was not happening, and I just thought, there's got to be more to this than just the stuff that's in my body. It's been about 2.5 years now. We went to the nurse again and she took my blood test. She checked that I was ovulating, and then she suggested that David went and gave a sperm sample so he could check his sperm to see that he had enough numbers, that they were healthy. My results came back, I was ovulating, my body was back to normal, it'd been clarified, and David's results came back and he was fine. So I thought, okay, let's just give it more time. And so we did, and then we moved here, and You know, we was preparing for the wedding, we was preparing for the house move. I tried so hard not to think about it. You know, I came off of my app because I got to the point I was very obsessive. I downloaded an app and, you know, I recorded every period, which is fine because then at least I know if my period's late, it's not, whatever. But then I would, you know, check for when I was ovulating, the days we had sex, I would put it in the app. Just everything. I would go on this app near enough every day. Come to the wedding, my period was late and I was like, oh my god. And it wasn't just late like a couple of days, it was 10 days late. So I thought, oh my god, this is amazing. And I thought if I was pregnant, I could announce it at the wedding, you know, be like, surprise, I'm also pregnant type thing. But then my period arrived and I was absolutely heartbroken. Like, I thought I need to be happy because I'm getting married soon, but I just thought, why would this happen to me right now? It's awful. Like, I just couldn't comprehend that, you know, everything was fine. So then people were like, oh no, your period was late because you were stressed for the wedding. Fine, okay, I accepted that. Before that, rewind it back before the wedding, I went to the nurse. So I was explaining it to her, the situation. So she was like, you're getting old, you know, these things could happen as you're getting older, you slow down. You know, I had a 6-year gap between my children, you could be the same. And I just thought, right, okay. And her being a medical professional, you kind of got to take their word for it. So if she's telling me I am old, I kind of got to just take it. Fast forward again, after the wedding, it's coming up to 2.5 years. Something's not right. Like, I'm healthy, I'm not overweight, I'm clearly ovulating, David's sperms are fine. There's got to be something wrong. I went to the doctor again, but when I was on the phone I was like, can I just double check who I'm seeing? So I made sure that I wasn't seeing the same doctor as I saw previously, and I explained to her what that doctor said to me, and she literally laughed in my face. She was like, Jasmine, you're not old. Like, you're nowhere near that age range. And I just thought, well, that's exactly what I thought. That appointment, I had Bella with me. And I was like, you know, I really want to give her a sibling. It's really difficult. It's mentally draining. And I cried. I honestly just sat there and cried. And I thought, my God, like, I didn't know what to tell Bella because she was looking at me. So then the doctor was like, right, okay, we're going to refer you to the hospital and we're going to go down that road, get you tested, and then from there we'll see. So then got my appointment, did some more blood tests to see if I was ovulating, just to double check, and to see if I had eggs, and you know, results came back, I was fine. Then we got referred to a doctor and they sat me down. They ask you all the questions, how long you've been trying for, do you have another child, have you done this test, have you done that test? So she gave us a booklet and said, right, now you've got to go and do this other test, another blood test. We suggest that you go and get your eggs counted to see that you've got a good egg count. You might have eggs there, but if they're not healthy or the egg count's low, then that could be another factor. So she looked at David's sperm test and she was like, okay, he's fine. And then I was also booked in for this test where they put this liquid up your tubes to clear it out and just double check that your womb inside is fine and everything is all good. I went for this tube clearing out test, and you know, David wasn't allowed in the room with me. You know, they said that the room was very small. So they literally put in this thing which I can describe as like a dildo into my vagina, and she kind of like prodded it like this and everything was fine. And then they were like, right, we're going to insert this liquid inside of you. So she put up like a very, very small tube into the tubes and she injected this liquid. Let me tell you, that was very uncomfortable. I don't really know how to describe it to you. So they did all that, and what do you know? My tubes are clear. Then she tells me, now that we've cleared out your tubes, it could be a lot easier to conceive. See how you get on. So then they gave us about 3-4 months for this. And yeah, Yep, nothing. At this point I came off my app. I recorded any periods that I had, but I never went on the app at all. I was eating better, I was taking folic acids, just nothing. So then we went back to our follow-up appointment and I cried because I was frustrated, I was mentally drained, emotionally drained. So she now sits down and says the only other option is IVF. And I never ever thought I would be that person that would have to go down that road, and it kind of just hit me hard. She gave me like booklets to read and things like that, and she put me in for an appointment for a patient information day, and then we went. So basically it was a little evening with a presentation to tell you everything you need to know. And when we went there, I don't know what I was expecting, but there was actually quite a lot of people. It kind of reassured me a little bit, in a sense that I thought, do you know what, I'm not the only one going through these struggles. There are other people out there. As they were talking through it, I just thought, hold on a minute. Everything that's gonna happen will happen to me. Like all these injections I need to take. I have to go under anaesthetic so that they can extract my eggs. Yes, David has to give a sperm sample, but that's easy enough done. I may have to take tablets depending on my egg count. And then there was counselling as well. And I just thought it was really overwhelming. Like all this information. And I sat there and I thought, us women have to go through a lot of shit. And it's not even guaranteed it's going to be successful. And it's going to cost us about £6 grand. And in my head I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it. How much longer am I going to wait? It's coming up to 3 years now. Bella's coming to the age where she wants a sibling. She asks me for a sibling. And I don't know what to tell her. It's hard. You know, she sees people on the telly and they've got these big bumps and she's like, I want you to have a baby in your stomach. Like, how do you tell a 4-year-old that you've been trying and it's not working? And it's really hard for me. So April just gone. My period was late. It was 5 days late. I tried not to get my hopes up, and lo and behold, I was just late. Maybe we need to just, I don't know, focus on other things. But it's easier said than done. Do you know what I mean? If it's meant to be, we'll have another child. If not, then we'll go down the route of IVF. We're gonna stop trying because I don't know how much more of the disappointment I can take, or you know, how much more, like when my period arrives, like how much more I can accept that I'm not pregnant, because it's really hard. I've told a few people about it, and you know, I have supportive friends out there, but you know, they try and reassure me the best way that they can. You know, everyone says the same thing, like, look, if it's gonna happen, it'll happen. Just don't think about it. But you know what, it's just really hard when you really want it, you know, and I want to give Bella a sibling. And the worst part is, I'm not gonna lie, but when I hear someone else become pregnant, or if someone is currently pregnant or they've just had a baby, of course I am happy for them, don't get me wrong. In a way, I'm very jealous of this person or people. I am, because I want to be in their shoes, and because I've not been successful with it, I am envious that they get to feel this and I don't. Deep down, I'm sad for myself, you know, and I'm not gonna lie. And the worst part is, people don't know what you're going through, and I don't put it on blast. Like, there's a handful of friends that know, and this is the first time I have spoken about this fully. This, I mean, I'm putting this out publicly here, whether people watch it or not, you know, it's out there. It's frustrating when people who don't know what you're going through, and they go, when are you having another kid? Bella's now 4. You know, she deserves a sibling. Don't you want another little one? You know, oh, it's time you have another child, you're getting on a little bit now, you're getting a bit old, David's getting on now. And I sit there and I put on this smile and I just think, like, you don't know what I'm going through. Honestly, I find it, in a sense, it's rude, because at the end of the day, you don't know what someone is going through. You don't know if they can have another child or whether they are struggling. You don't know any of this. So you can't just be like, why are you not having another child? Do you not think I want to? I know it's not that person's fault at all, but I feel like people in general sometimes just need to be a bit more considerate and, you know, be a bit more sensitive into asking these questions. I don't think that, unless you've been there in that situation where you can't give birth to a child, or you can't get pregnant, or you've experienced secondary infertility, you can't relate, you know. I just never thought I would be that person. I'm hoping that this break that we're taking, it will shed light on us, and I kind of got to just get it into my head that it will happen when it happens. If we're blessed to have another child, it's meant to be. But then if not, IVF will be the next stage of this journey. I just don't know when. I'm very stressed, like mentally, emotionally, and I try month on month on month to be positive, to not think about it. And I am grateful for what I have at the minute, don't get me wrong, you know, I'm very grateful that I've got a child, but I've always imagined myself to have like 3 or 4 children. I've always wanted a big family, so that's it. 30-year-old Jazz over here, suffering and struggling through secondary infertility, and it's real. If you guys enjoy videos like this, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. You know, I just want to put it out there so that women know that they're not on their own. We're here to support each other, and I can only keep my fingers and toes crossed that something good will happen to us at some point. So yes guys, thanks for watching. Bye.